Well, here now, Chef Andrew Gruel. Andrew, great to see you. We've had you on throughout the pandemic. We have talked with you in the worst of times. Are we getting any nearer to something like the best of times for restaurants? Or are you still stuck in the middle of it?
Yeah, we're still stuck in the middle of it. I mean, the best of times are certainly far away. At least I don't see it or smell it for that matter. What we have right now, and the issue is this is too little too late. We should have had this money a long time ago, number one. Number two, and I want to use the kind of the age-old toolbox analogy, right? When all you've got is a hammer, everything looks like a nail. And when you're the federal government, when all you have is a massive ATM machine in the form of the central, kind of a central bank, then you think money solves everything. Well, guess what? Money doesn't solve everything. And in this case, the money certainly is going to help. And don't get me wrong, we are laden with debt. But what the money is going to do here, ironically, is probably exacerbate the problem, because more money out in the economy, just printing money and throwing it out there, is creating more headaches for us as inflation hits, as food costs go up, and then we've obviously got the issues with the supply chain and not even able to get the products in there. But the government can't just continue solving problems by printing money and handing that out. Why don't they maybe remove themselves from the situation and understand that they're the root of a lot of these problems? With this money should come laws that prevents them from putting the regulations in effect that shut down so many of these businesses to begin with. And let me ask you another question. What does the federal government do to even produce this money, right? I'm not just going to sit here and complain this entire segment. What they should be doing is cutting payroll taxes, all right, to put more money in the business owners' hands and then figure out how they can maybe tighten their belt a little bit at the federal level, because I want to remind everybody, the government does not produce anything. All it does is take money from hardworking Americans and small businesses, and then it redistributes it to whatever pet projects they want, and a ton of it goes in their pockets along the way. The front part of this bill says that the money that was misappropriated during all of the previous relief funds is going to now be hopefully garnered back and given back out through this. So the money goes up from our taxes into the government, they mismanage it, they lose it, they pay it to themselves, and then they give us a little bit. Just cut our taxes, cut our payroll taxes. And furthermore, incentivize those businesses that pay their employees really well, so we don't have to have this minimum wage debate. It's all right there in cutting taxes.
So, a lot of critics are saying, Andrew, we have doled out trillions of dollars, obviously, in COVID relief. Now we're talking about tens of billions and more. You're making the case restaurants need it. They've got debt. But I think there's a lot of people saying this is never going to end. There's going to be some business somewhere always that's in a slump, and they're going to need money, and we're going to keep doling it out. And as you said, the government doesn't solve a problem with this. It creates an inflation problem. It sounds to me like it's the inflation problem, Andrew, that's really killing restaurants at this point.
It's the inflation problem, it's the labor issue, and then ultimately it's the supply chain issues right now. And then kind of looming COVID psychological and behavioral problems that were just instilled in a large section of America, all brought on by the government. All of these problems, the root of these problems, the federal government. Once again, cut our taxes on a local level, cut our payroll taxes, let us operate freely, deregulate to some degree, and incentivize those businesses that pay their employees really well. That's the best approach here.
Tell me about this. I think there's a fear from a lot of businesses that the restrictions have been pulled off now, but just you wait. Just you wait till we get the next variant. Just you wait till we get to a season where illness starts to spike up. Are restaurant owners feeling like they're just hanging under a swinging knife here of regulations the next time that we get some kind of uptick in the virus?
That's a great analogy, by the way. I like the swinging knife, long chef's knife. Yes, that's exactly how we feel. And what it's doing right now is it's affecting the ability to garner investments, to growth capital, because the restaurant industry already was kind of considered to be this high risk, stay away from this, risky environment, not just individual investors, but even the SBA, right? Even conventional loans. And now it's even worse because one of the biggest threats out there in everybody's SWOT analysis, the big T, the threat, is the federal government.
That SWOT analysis, the threat, this government steps in and says, you've got to shut down again. You can't hire workers. People can't come in your restaurant. They can't eat without a vaccination. That would be a, what do you call it at this point, a quadruple whammy on the restaurant industry. I don't know how you bounce back from that. We got to leave it there. Chef Andrew Gruel, thank you so much always for joining us.